Welcome everybody. Welcome once again to the Bread Bank Campaign Project. Like I've always said, we are out to identify all forms of spending behaviors. Because with those maladaptive spending behaviors, when we identify them, we restructure. So we are actually diagnosing, not to reject, but to restructure. Like I said, what we are doing now is to create awareness. With that awareness, you can easily identify a spending behavior in whoever. And instead of rejecting, please, you have to restructure. In the last episode, we looked at Machiavellian spenders. I mean, if you restructure a Machiavellian spender, you end up with a philanthropist. They are intelligent, they are sharp, they are smart, but they are self-serving. So if you restructure a Machiavellian spender, you end up with a philanthropist. That greedy uncle becomes so generous. Most of these behaviors, people don't choose to be what they are. Most of these behaviors are being informed from the subconscious level. That is why I'm saying we are coming from the humanistic point of view, that we are all good, and we are battling each day towards a single drive, the zeal to offer the best version of ourselves to the world. But some core conditions are necessary for this to happen. So every spending behavior type we are looking at now, we are simply diagnosing so we can restructure. Now, today we are going to look at another kind of spender. Please, I'm just nipping at the board now. We are going to get to the crux of this. I'm just trying to do the introductory so that we understand there is an issue. There is a spending behavior type, an Alderian spender. An Alderian spender is that kind of a spender that wants validation. You see someone spends on you and enjoys, the comments, the praises, the sweet words. That's an Alderian spender for you. But an Alderian spender is very, very maladaptive because it creates a lot of problems in the community. An Alderian spender makes lives look like everything is easy. That's the kind of guy who makes you think the grass is greener on the other side of the fence. No, it's not. It's just that they do not tell you, they really don't always tell you about their own challenges. Because an Alderian spender wants validation. So if you make you feel like he too has skeletons in the cupboard, he too is struggling, life is tough, no, come on. He will lose the very purpose for which he is helping. That is maladaptive. Because it's like he is on an ivory tower, and then it makes you live in a fool's paradise. Yeah, because you see this life, especially here in Africa, we have something like our social fabric. There is a way all of us survive, by building relationships. So when you meet an Alderian spender, he might make you lose sight with your support system. Because life in Africa is really challenging. Almost everywhere life is challenging. Because all of us are going through the basic economic challenges. Yeah, the wants are unlimited, the means are scarce. Yeah, so everywhere in the world, life is difficult for everybody. But an Alderian spender makes it look like he is the almighty. Things are just so easy with him. And those that depend on an Alderian, I say, you live in a fool's paradise. Because he gives you all the promises and makes you feel like he has it all. And he will be there any day, every day for you. Which of course cannot be reality. Because in life, there's a first time to everything. So you can't put your trust in a single human being. Yeah, and that's what Alderian wants. That you should be totally dependent on him. Now, most people have issues at the end of it. Because an Alderian can leave you in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, because the problem with Alderian spender is it gives you so much assurance. So you get a bit complacent. Yeah, because instead of building a social relationship, you start giving up on people and things. For example, you have to be cordial with your landlord. You have to be making some courtesy calls. You have to make sure you are on even terms with your neighbors. Knowing that at least, since you are not sorting anything away for a rainy day, these guys will come through for you in case things get so rough. But if you have an Alderian spender in your life, he really Comes through for you, yes, once in a while. But he makes it feel like every day he will be there for you. And then someday you might be in a very tight corner, in a very difficult situation. And honestly, you call him on phone, he's not picking up. Yeah, because he can't let you know he doesn't have. He can't let you know he has fallen short. He cannot even let you know that somehow he has challenges. So, just when you have possibly, have all your eggs in this one basket, this guy now fails you at the very last minute. When will you have time to go make up with your landlord? When will you have time to go try to lobby again with your neighbors? When possibly we are at month end. So now, this kind of spenders always end up generating a lot of carryovers in people. These are the kind of spenders that make you feel like people are not grateful. Now, in that place of giving and taking, sometimes we don't seem to understand that a beggar has a choice. And you shouldn't even joke with a beggar, because a beggar to us is for her world. Now, but an Algerian treats a beggar like he always has to be grateful. Do you know what it means to put your trust in someone that pretends to be the Almighty, and then at the last minute he fails you, and then now he turns around and makes you the issue? Because with an Algerian spender, he is so in his ivory tower that he doesn't even understand that people down there have feelings. And when he fails you, and then he finds out possibly you are living with a frown, he's like, people really are not grateful for small mercies. This is a guy I've always reached out to. Why would he possibly wear a long face? Because these ones, he couldn't have his way. You don't even understand that someone has built on you to a level that you are not having it on that day, has collapsed his entire social circle. So I am now pointing out that we should watch out for Algerians. Because I know all of us somehow, anywhere, everywhere, we have built our hopes on someone, somewhere, knowing that this particular guy, no, he can never fail me. He can't fail you. Because all of us are living within the same economic system. As far as we are using economic goods, everybody is going through this same challenge of wants being unlimited and means being scarce. So during the process of restructuring, I want us to call to mind all the Algerians. These people have made so many promises, and then they failed us in the end. Marriages have broken down because there were some Algerian husbands that possibly made their wives believe that they will always be there for their wives, for their father-in-laws, for their mother-in-laws, or for their husbands, for the husband's siblings, and maybe for the husband's whole village. Algerians have made promises to friends, and the friends counted on them, only to realize in the end that those promises, possibly all of them fall through. Algerians, you count on them. Well, in some instances, you can pull it off. But in other instances, all your plans can be foiled. An Algerian, if you're an Algerian spender, that you make promises, and then you cannot live up to those promises, and then when some people frown because you haven't helped at the last minute, you think they are ingrates, then you need restructuring. That is why we're pointing out all these issues, so we understand the world as it is. We are restructuring. Like I said, we need the nouns, we need the adjectives, describe everybody, anyhow, anywhere. Tell us about their spending behaviors. But please, we are diagnosing not to reject, but to restructure. Look, this bread bank adventure is a very interesting one. Yeah, because the world is sickened, but we are saving it. Yeah, because money management has become an issue, and it's getting in the way of so many social, political, economic, and whatever issues you think you can look at. So that's the reason why we are here for this podcast. Like I said, to create self-awareness, identify anybody and everybody that you know has not come through for you. Think about every stingy man you know. Think about every stingy woman you know. Look at your friends. See their lives. Because we are talking about restructuring in waves. We are setting a bread bank in Cameroon. We are going to restructure the first 1 million. Then we go to the next 1 million. I mean, you can't miss this one. Yeah, Everybody has to restructure. So the purpose of this podcast is to create this self-awareness that we see that all of us on earth, everywhere, we have spending behavior issues. When we restructure, we can create a better social and economic fabric. And we can live a better world for our children. And like I said, a package is just $100. With $100, come on, you'll be able to pass wealth to the next generation. When I talk of the SBI and the SBRP, oh my goodness, you don't know how many years of hard work we put in to get here. Yeah, I mean, of course, it was tough work. We were prepared for it because we didn't expect it to be a walkover. But now the products are here and the world needs them. You cannot tell me that your husband doesn't need restructuring, that your wife doesn't need restructuring, that your son doesn't need restructuring. I was talking to one man the other day. The man said his daughter spends at least, as a student, $50 on makeup every week. That's a student. And the man was like, this generation. I said, sir, look, this generation, if you think they have issues, they have a single issue, spending behavior. But now you can't condemn your daughter. Just understand that there's a spoiling, there's a spending behavior issue. We are restructuring. What we need now is restructuring. That individuals have insight into their own behavior so that they'll be able to deal with them. This is a broadband campaign. This is a broadband campaign. We are trying to create something new. This is one bank of a kind, a bank that cares for its clients. We are not going to possibly jump out there and try telling people the advantages of banking. We are healing the entire social fabric so individuals understand why they should adjust to save more. There is no better way of distributing resources. Yeah, there is no better way of distributing resources because we've always looked at out-in instead of in-out. Yeah, the other day I was following the US presidential debate, yeah, because I seem to follow that a lot. And you know this tussle between the Republicans and the Democrats. You know, they will always talk of trickle down, bottom up, and then they narrow down on middle class families and their issues. And they're like, who is going to save the middle class? It's like there will be some political party that possibly is just to make life so glorious for the middle class families. But to me, I think that's an illusion. And that's something America has to look into. Yeah. So it's not all about out-in. It's all about in-out. All Americans, the entire world, has to restructure their spending behavior. Oh yeah, because how are you going to help the middle class? If someone is an impulse spender, he's going to spend away everything. So by adding money to possibly someone that has already restructured their spending behavior, it's like you are pouring water on a basket. You know, who does that? Who does that? There's no way you're going to cast, a pearl before swine. They can't understand what it stands for. So even America has to restructure its politics. The whole world needs the spending behavior restructuring. Everybody needs to take an inventory, the SBI. Everybody needs to restructure. That's why I'm out on this campaign. We are changing the world because the world is in trouble. We are saving it. So thank you very much. And please, stay in touch. And like I said, we don't ask you to subscribe. You have to save yourself, your family, and your nation. Thank you very much.